Happy Frugal Friday, K-Squad. Welcome to your weekly dose of frugal inspiration. My name is Kate, and today we're talking about 10 things to reduce to save money. Let's get right into it. Number 1 is sweets and treats. Ooh, I went right after your chocolate first thing in the morning. Oh, my bad. But seriously, sweets and treats are a real luxury lately. I feel like I used to always end a meal with a sweet treat, like, oh, I deserve a sweet treat. But in actuality, if you reduce the amount you spend on sweets and treats, your grocery bill is gonna be lower. If you don't buy that candy, if you don't buy all those sugary, sweet treats, I'm not saying don't ever get that pint of ice cream that you really want. I'm not saying never get the cookies, but what I am saying is if you have a lot of those, they add up, right? They have no nutritional value. They are simply there for our pleasure, which is great to indulge in once in a while. But if you're anything like me and always have to have that sweet treat to end the meal, it can really add up. So what I'm saying in this whole video is to consider reducing these things a little, not cutting out completely, just reducing. I don't know if you guys have been watching me for a while, but back in 2019, one of my very first videos that ever made a little splash on the internet was called 20 Things I Stopped Buying / Paying For, in parentheses, or drastically reduced. And if you haven't seen that, you really should. You really should, because it was quite a sight to see. I was actually just a teensy horrified that was the one that took off because I had a cold. I was wearing pajamas because it was a stay-home day. Both of my original cats were alive and thriving. My baby Kaden was only like 5 years old, and when you hear his sweet little voice, I literally want to cry with nostalgia. He was such a peanut, and I just love those memories. But the whole point of that video was not saying like, never buy these things. Some things I had stopped buying, but sometimes when you just reduce, I feel like a lot of people in frugal living think that it's about restriction and budgeting so tight that you don't get to live. That's not what life is about, and that's not what frugality is about. So let's move on to number 2, going out to eat. Going out to eat is a real, true pleasure sometimes. It's like an event for me. I feel like when I do go out to eat, it's more special. I'm not going to fret about what I'm spending because I wouldn't go out to eat if it weren't already in my budget. I've talked about how to go out to eat on a budget. I will leave a link down below to talk about that on how you can save money when you do go out to eat. If you're trying to save money, should be more of a special occasion. Again, not never, but a lot less. The taking out food, the ordering food, the deliveries, all that, if you're trying to save money, you guys know that adds up so quickly. So don't never do it, but greatly reduce it and watch your wallet thicken up a little bit. Number 3, reduce grocery waste. There is nothing that fries my tail more than when I buy too much produce and it rots in the refrigerator. Like nothing fries my tail more, or just like any food going to waste, because I know that groceries are expensive and every precious amount of food in my mind is very valuable. So I'm really strategically trying to not waste food in all ways. And I share that with my son too. We talk about it. We want to use everything that we've got so that we can spend our money on not wasting food. You know what I mean? Like even a $10 waste of food crushes me sometimes. I'm like, I shouldn't have bought that, or, we should have used it sooner, that kind of thing. So of course, having a grocery list that's functional is going to help you. Of course, meal planning-ish is going to help you. If you have a big family and you plan like it is Taco Tuesday, it's, whatever you deem your themes of the night or whatever you plan for. But if it's, when I say meal plan-ish for us, I like to have a couple meals on hand that I'm gonna go to, and I'll be like, hey, you want this or this tonight? It's just me and my son. We can be a little bit flexible, but it helps to know you have some go-to meals and meals that you're planning to use up so you don't buy extra stuff that you don't need or that could possibly be wasted. Food waste is the worst. Use it all up. And now number 4. Let's talk about subscriptions. I just recently let go of Peacock. I was paying for Peacock. I personally go through these little phases where I just all of a sudden can't live without like the Real Housewives. I don't know why. And then I have a nice dose of it and then I'm over it and I don't need to see it for a long time. Recently though, I don't know, I kind of had this feeling, even though when I used to watch The Housewives, for example, I'd always think like, I know this is so unrealistic and everything, but now that I see so many of them are like going through bankruptcy and just they're saying it's the Real Housewives, but is it real if they're all, not all, but many are going through so much financial problems? It just, now it doesn't, like the illusion of that amazing life is just kind of like pushed past, I don't know, like, I don't know. So long story short, I'm done with Peacock for a little bit, even though Peacock has a lot of great things. Still have my Netflix, still have my Hulu. And I just think sometimes we have so many subscriptions and we're not using it. Oh, I had Audible. Audible is a great app, but I don't know. I wasn't using it, got rid of Audible also. So just take a peek at what subscriptions you could go without and reduce. Again, I need Netflix or I need Hulu. I need something. I like a good show. There's nothing I enjoy more than a good show binge once in a while. But do you need all of them? Is there, like, are you watching HBO Max and you're watching Apple TV and Amazon Prime and all of them? Like, do you need all of them? Can you just like reduce it a little? And that's just streaming. Think of all the other subscriptions you could have, right? Just take a peek, go through, maybe do a little less for a little bit and see how it feels. Number 5, haircuts and beauty services. As you guys know, if you've been watching me, I haven't had my hair cut professionally in over a year. And prior to that, like when I used to color my hair regularly, I would do it like every 6 weeks, then like 8 weeks, and then I try to spread it out a little bit more. If it's not necessary, or nail appointments, clearly I don't have nail appointments, ladies that are into the brows and the lashes and all that, do we need to do it as much? Again, I'm not trying to ruin your life. I'm not trying to ruin your life and eliminate every single thing that you enjoy, but could you reduce a couple of these services or do them less often? It's worth a look. Saves lots of money. We are halfway through the video. If you have made it this far, type in the comments, reduce, and I will know that you are contemplating what you can reduce to save more money. Moving on to number 6. Laundry. I'm not trying to be gross. I'm not trying to be gross. But a lot of people will go run an errand, put an outfit on, and then throw it in the laundry out of habit. Now listen, cleaning your clothes is a very good habit, but did you really need to throw it in the laundry yet? Like if you wore a pair of pants to the store, can you just fold it and put it away? If you only wore a shirt for like an hour, if it's not stinky, if it's not dirty, you didn't drop anything on it and it doesn't have an odor, you can reduce your laundry by being mindful of this. And if you have a bigger family, reminding them all of that. Of course, it is important to have good hygiene and clean clothes, but sometimes it's excessive. We clean it, we wore it for a second, we gotta throw it in the laundry. Really? You don't need to do that. So just think twice. Does it smell nice still? Is it dirty? If it's not, put it away and wear it again. Oftentimes people can get 2 or 3 wears out of something, depending on what it is. Workout clothes is not one of them. You have a nice workout and you're sweaty and you're disgusting, throw those in the wash. You get what I mean. Number 7, reduce your clutter. So I just did a community post. By the way, I often post in our community post tab, so check that out once in a while. That's where you'll always find an update. Like if for some reason I can't do a video on a Friday, I'm gonna post it there. Or if for something important comes up, check my community tab. But I also do polls there. I also just post inspirational quotes. I ask questions of the K Squad so that we're all in contact and I kind of get a feel for what's going on with you guys. And a lot of people told me this month they are decluttering. And as you know, I just did a 12-week declutter last year, changed my life. It is worth your time. And again, reducing clutter reduces your stress. I'm a firm believer. A less cluttered house is a less cluttered mind and frees up that mental space to do what you need to do more focused, more energetically, and it'll help you save money by not buying things you don't need because you already have 2 of them. You just didn't know they were buried in a pile of something. They were hidden in a closet. They were hidden in a drawer. If you declutter, it's going to declutter your mind. It's going to declutter your wallet. It's going to be such good benefits for you. I can't stress it enough. Declutter. Reduce that clutter. Number 8 is driving. Reduce the amount of time you have to spend on the road if you don't have to spend that time. First of all, it's going to save you time. Beautiful, right? Second, it's going to save money on gas. It is pretty expensive to drive a ton. I am very fortunate. I don't have to drive too far to work. I don't have to drive too far for the most important things that I need to be at in this life that I've created. It's all pretty local, so I don't have to go too far. But if there are cases where you can hitch a ride with a friend, if there's a case where you can, carpool, you drive, they drive, kind of even that out a little bit. And also, if it's really close, can you take a walk? You guys know I'm a big fan of the walks, especially lately. Can you get some steps in? Can you save the money on gas? Can you get some fresh air? Can you look to reduce your driving just a little bit? Good for the environment. I could go on. Number 9, and this is a big one for those of you that have it. Reduce your debt. Debt robs you of your income, right? If you bought something on a credit card months ago, and it was something silly like a shirt, right? And you put it on a credit card because you didn't have the money, and you start paying interest, I'm starting to sweat just thinking about it. Creating a life where you are debt-free or only have the mortgage is going to free up so much money. Credit card debt, car debt, student loans, personal loans, all that. If you have any of those, I'm going to inspire you, motivate you, encourage you to pay off debt as soon as you possibly can. It is such a weight off your shoulders. And I know it takes time, definitely takes time. Be patient, but be chipping away at it. I remember back in the day, I had a credit card bill of over $10,000 and it was eating me alive. I couldn't stand it. This was back in my 20s. So I remember like my minimum payment, let's say it was like $200. I was throwing $500 when in my 20s, I'd much rather have been spending that money on going out, new outfits, shoes, whatever, back in the day. But I was very committed. And when I crushed that, then it was $500 I could spend on other things, not debt. You guys, get out of debt. Do the best you can. If you need to do a debt snowball, a debt avalanche. Dave Ramsey, I know some of you hate him, some of you love him, but he really encourages the debt snowball, just taking your smallest debt paying off that first. Once you've paid that off, go to the next one. And it kind of, that snowball just gets going, right? And then there's also the debt avalanche that some people are very passionate about. You start with the highest interest rate, which they say mathematically makes more sense, but motivationally and momentum-wise, the snowball might be for you, but the avalanche might be for you. You got to do your own read on that, write out your debts and see what makes most sense and what you're most comfortable with, and then attack it. Don't waste your time thinking about that for too long. Pick one and go. Number 10 is shopping to replace boredom. You got to reduce that. If you are a shopper out of boredom, I get it, but that has to change if you want to save money. If you are purely shopping out of boredom, you got to find something else to do. You got to find something else to do. I'm just going to be honest. If that's your motivator, like I was bored, I went online, I shopped, find something else to do. Declutter your house, go for a walk, clean the house, do something else. Because shopping out of boredom, I feel like, especially in these current times, we got to greatly reduce that. Greatly reduce that. Shopping out of boredom, take it out of the routine, take it out of the repertoire. That's unacceptable at this point if that's what you want to do, okay? If you want to save money, no more of that. Cut it out, find something else to do. Listen, there's a lot more things in life you can do than shop, right? There's so many things. So find that thing, find anything else you enjoy, and dive into that instead. I consider myself contemporary frugal, which means I like to use a mix of classic frugal tips with tips that currently match my lifestyle, right? So there's the classics and then there's what actually works for me. So contemporary frugal is a way to do what's gonna work for you and your family right now in the times that are happening, okay? A lot of the classics are gonna be perfect, but there are some that I am not going to participate in that don't make sense in my busy lifestyle, which yes, in the end, it might save me money, but convenience-wise, time-wise, it's not gonna work for this busy single mama. You know what I mean? So contemporary frugality for me is about making it work for your lifestyle right now. Big families versus single people are gonna have to operate a little bit differently or a lot differently. Married couples, single people, people taking care of the elderly. I have a lot of K Squad members that are taking care of their parents, their grandparents. Everyone's gonna have to operate in the way that works for them and celebrate their family dynamics and what their family composition is made of. So if I'm ever sharing something and you're like, that would never work for me. I've got 7 people in this house. It's just me and my son. So don't listen to those that don't apply. As always, take what you can from these videos, use them, throw away the rest. Do what works for you. Now that I got the wheels turning, let me know, as we're having this conversation, what are you thinking? Name one thing in the comments, or a couple if you want to, of things that you could reduce even just a little bit to save money so we could get some more ideas. If you want to see that video where I have a cold and I look disgusting, I will leave that here, because don't you just want to watch that? You have to just know. And you have to see Kaden's little face because, oh my gosh, she's adorable. But it also has some good information. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in this video right here with my stuffy nose and all. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.